Right, welcome down to the Cutting Matters podcast. This is episode number 19. We are, I say fresh back, not quite fresh back, but
No, nothing fresh about me.
fresh back from Signing Digital a couple of weeks ago. I'm Alistair and I'm joined again by Ellen.
Yes, I'm Ellen, so thank you again for everyone that's tuning in.
We had a little plaque through a couple of days ago from for our downloads. The amount of downloads we've received for the podcast, which is really cool. So thank you for everybody who's listening and downloading and watching on YouTube or on the podcast providers. It's without, well, we wouldn't be making this if people weren't bothering to actually.
And it's good that everyone is interacting with us as well.
Yeah.
So not just, on social media, people are like, checking in, seeing how things are going, asking us questions, but going out and about and speaking to people. Everyone's talking about the podcast and saying that they're listening to podcasts, and our podcast is giving them ideas to do different projects. So when we went to Sign Digital, that was a great time to actually hear people's thoughts about the podcast and the fact that everyone's listening to it as well.
Even unprompted, like people coming up to us and saying, "No, I've been listening to the podcast, really enjoying it."
Yeah.
And it was, to be fair, it was mainly people in the industry who like are resellers or people who know us and things that are listening. But that is what this podcast was about.
Targeted
to when we first started it. So as long as everyone's getting out of it what they want, I hope that we're like giving you the content that you're enjoying and it's making a difference. I know a couple of people said at the show, I didn't you talked about a subject I didn't realize that the machines could do, or I never thought about it like that before. And it's given people different ideas of what they can do with the machines and things like that. So yeah, thank you for listening and watching. If you've got any ideas on further podcasts for us, so get in the comments, let us know. Drop us an email if you're not like signing to YouTube or anything to do that. But yeah, engagement with you guys and listening and speaking to us is what's going to make the podcast grow further. So Signing Digital, we've been back a couple of weeks now, really, but what did you think?
The dust has finally settled.
Yeah, I took a week off. The reason we got taking this on because I took a week off straight after Signing Digital.
That was a wise move, though. You needed a week to just kind of,
It was quite hectic, wasn't
it? Yeah, it was.
And then we had a short week last week with Easter.
Bank holiday weekend.
So we're back now. But yeah, Signing Digital, what do you think?
I thought it was really good. It was really, really good, I thought. We had a lot of people come to the stand. We did something different, which we've never done before. I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. And we do a lot of shows, but this one I did enjoy the most, I think.
Yeah, we do a lot of shows, but the Sign Digital's one of only maybe 2 shows a year that we have our own dedicated stand. We've got so many resellers in the UK with our products that we technically go and support them really at their shows, on their stands and things like that. So it's nice to have our own stand, our own footing at the show, and get our machines on the stand and be able to fully go through everything that the machines can offer face to face, really, not just via virtually or via phone calls or emails and things like that. It's actually nice to actually sit in front of people and have a chat to them. Yeah. So you said we did something different. What was something different that we did?
So we went onto a stage called the Speakers Lounge, and we discussed about what GraphTech is and discussed about the podcast, and we did a live demonstration as well on one of the GraphTech machines.
Yeah.
And that's something we've never done before.
No, I enjoyed that. It was good. Initially, we were going to do it. Well, going back to the Vinyl Summit in December, if you went to that or if you saw any pictures, I kind of did a talk about what we are as a company, the machines that we offer, everything that machines can really do, and then you did demonstration. You went through like everything that the machine could do, didn't you?
Yeah.
So we were going to kind of take that process and that way of doing the talk to Sign Digital. But last minute we decided to change it slightly, so we did more of like a panel, didn't we? We sat down with Jack, who was the compere for the Explains Lounge, and we had a sit down chat to him for. It was like 15-20 minutes, wasn't it?
It was just a nice casual chat. So those that are sitting and didn't understand what we did or didn't know, we just sat there listening in to kind of get a grasp of what it is that we do and who we are.
Yeah.
And then lots of people walking by, stopping, and seeing us chat and were engaging with us. And then it was like a question answer sort of thing as well, wasn't it? We're including the audience, asking them questions about machinery, because a couple of people that were sat there listening actually had equipment. So we were engaging with them. And then we did a demonstration on the Graphtec C7000 for signage, just cutting out the vinyl.
Easiest one to carry across the show, really, wasn't
It
it?
was, yeah, we were like chuckle brothers, weren't we? Taking it across the floor panel. But yeah, so we did that demonstration, and then we got Jack then to weed the design out, and
Yeah.
I think he enjoyed that.
He did. I think he liked getting. I didn't think he expected to do it. I think he got liked getting involved with it like that. It was nice because initially we were the first people on the Wednesday morning, and obviously people were just coming into the hall. It was a little bit, wasn't quiet, but it was a little bit quiet where we were there. I thought if I'm just stood there kind of preaching, it might put people off from coming to sit down.
Yeah,
So
so early in the morning as well. Everyone's made that drive to Birmingham.
yeah,
They
no one
need their
wants to be
coffee.
just preached at. So sitting down doing like the more of the panel type chat, I think helped to encourage more people on. And by the time we'd finished, there was about 40, 50 people either sat or stood around watching the actual, I say show, it wasn't a show, but
We put a show on.
yeah, put a show on. Just watching what was going on, taking it in. And then from that, I'd say a good dozen people who were actually sat there came over to the stand later in the day to learn more about the machines, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, I think there was a couple that they were looking at the C. Obviously, you did the dem on the C, so they came over, but it turned out the FC would have been more beneficial for them.
Hmm.
And then I think there was a couple of people, because we mentioned obviously we weren't able to take it over to the Explains Lounge because it's too big, but we obviously went through the laser equipment and things like that, and then it encouraged people to come over to the stand to have a look at the S600, didn't it?
And that's what these shows are good for. It's like taking our demonstration room from Wrexham over to Birmingham.
Yeah.
So we had, the laser machine there, we had a laminator there, the FC machine, and the CE machine. So we had everything there. So if someone came to us and was talking about a certain model that they've seen online, but the application is better suited to a different machine, we would then be able to walk over and show the customer the differences and why it's best suited. So it was really good, and we had a lot of good conversations. Like you say, some people were interested in a Graphtec cutter roll fed. Turns out a laser machine is the suitable machine for them. And even like finding out, you're speaking to people that have got laser machines and now they want to get a Graphtec, or vice versa, they've got a Graphtec and they need a laser machine. So it all worked. It was
Go hand in hand. So you got like people walking around who sign fitters or worked in a sign shop and things like that, and they're buying in the acrylic and stuff to make their signs. Well, and then the acrylic signs that they're making, or they're just using the acrylic for the back and they're putting their vinyl on. Obviously, they're cutting the vinyl with a Graphtec. People thinking, oh, I want to start bringing that in house now. I want my own laser cutter to cut my own acrylic signs. So what do I need? And then obviously we've got the solution for that as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
You mentioned we took the laminator as well. That was basically off the back of the show last year, because we didn't take the laminator last year, but we did have the TV on the stand, and I included it on like the presentation that we had going on in the background on the stand, and that generated quite a lot of interest. And people went, "Oh, you do a laminator as well." So we had a slightly bigger stand this year as well, which allowed us.
Have fitted all
we wouldn't have fitted it on the stand last year. So we were able to take the FC9160 to pair it with the laminator. So having the full print cut solution for doing print cut graphics on the stand really helped there. I think that laminator, for the price point of it got so much attention.
I was really surprised of how much attention, especially on the last day. The last day, that's the most amount of people that came over just to have a look at the laminator.
Yeah.
And for me, that I was quite surprised, because from a show that goes over 3 days, the last day you wouldn't necessarily see people.
Last day always tends to be a bit quieter, but I'd say every day, the Tuesday, which was the first day, was by far the busiest day. But then the Wednesday was still very busy.
It was in waves, though, wasn't it? Like, get dead busy, and then it would go quiet, and you think, oh, is that it? And then everyone would come back again. It's like, wow.
Yeah, it's either all or nothing with the shows. It's a bit bizarre. You either have a stand that's absolutely rammed, or then there'll be no bill.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden it's rammed again. It's like, where's all these people come from?
Yeah.
You had, like, with that, when you're doing dems on, as soon as you start doing a new dem or something and getting the machine, that pulls people in. So every time you fired up the laser, people just come and stop and watch doing its thing then, don't they?
Yeah.
So you had quite a lot of people, maybe not even initially realizing what it was, but then see it cutting and then gets a conversation going. And that's the beauty about these shows.
Yeah.
with craft shows in the past, when we had the 3D printer,
I knew you were going to say that. Yeah.
that thing always got people stop and stare like,
Because it's so interesting.
Yeah.
Nobody sees like a small desktop 3D printer.
no.
So it is a shame that Silhouette don't do that anymore.
Yeah, I really like that product. It was
Yeah.
it was a good little product. It's a shame that Silhouette stopped
Yeah.
doing the Alta.
I remember doing the cake show in the NEC. I took the 3D Alta machine, and everyone was just stopped and was like, "Wow!" But you could make so much with it for that type of market.
Yeah, yeah,
So
you
many
could.
things. Yeah.
Filament was food friendly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you
That
could,
was the perk of it, wasn't it?
yeah, you could do it. But like with the laser, you had a couple of people who you made stuff for on the stand at the show, didn't you?
Yeah.
What was it that you made?
I know I definitely made some coasters, and there was somebody brought actually their material to test it out.
Yeah.
Because they came and had a look at different laser machines. And that was some acrylic. I think they were building some kind of model with it.
Okay.
Yeah, which is quite cool.
So that's the beauty about. There's always a question in the industry at the minute: are the shows worthwhile? But I still think they are, because they hook those people in that you can get into your dem suite then to actually have a more in-depth look at the equipment.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't think that the days of trade shows are done yet.
No, not for that type of.
No.
No.
It's a great place to go, because you can go and see, if you've only got one day, and I know we've talked about this in the past on the podcast, but if you've only got one day to go out and see someone, you want to go somewhere where you can see loads of brands, don't you? You don't want to be pigeonholing yourself to only going, right, I'm going to go to that company and that's it. I've also all I've got time for it. It's just going to that one thing, one company, seeing that one offering. Go to the NEC, walk around, you can see multiple different types of machine and work out what the best thing is for you.
And also, you gather lots of ideas. So, a couple of customers came over and they weren't looking to buy equipment, but they were looking at the ideas of what the equipment can produce. So, like walking around and saying, "Oh, it can do that. I never thought it could do that. That's really cool. I'm going to add that to my offering." And just being able to like add value to other people's companies, and they'll keep it in the back of their mind. Oh, Graphtec did this, or walk around other people's stands saying, "Oh, well, they did this way. Maybe I can, do something with that idea."
Yeah.
So it is definitely, something to carry on going to these trade shows.
Yeah, definitely. We haven't at the moment got a stand space booked for it, but I think we are looking at maybe doing the print show in September, aren't we?
Yeah.
So that will be another opportunity to come and see us live at a show.
Okay, so we've got some news on the podcast. So Alistair was the one that brought this idea to life. And now Alistair's got some news, which I'll let you tell everybody.
As you referred to it the other day, a bit bittersweet.
Bittersweet.
I am unfortunately leaving Graphtec.
Yeah, so you're leaving us, aren't you?
I am. Pasture's new. The
Yeah.
opportunity knocks. So
Yeah.
offer I couldn't turn down. I've really enjoyed my time in working for Graphtec and in the print industry, doing the commercial stuff. My job also includes doing a lot of the craft stuff as well. So seeing the development of everything that we've done as a business over the past, nearly 6 years I've been here. So it's quite sad to say goodbye.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was really taken back. I was nearly crying. I was like, what? But no, I'm really happy for you. Really, really happy for you. But yeah, definitely miss you.
Thank you very much.
Definitely miss you. But yeah, what's been like the highlights then of, obviously the podcast is going to be one of the highlights, I assume.
Researching like new avenues for us to market, like looking at stuff like doing the podcast, doing things to engage with customers. Like when I started here, we didn't really do any social media at all we did a bit, there was bits going on for the craft brands and things like that, but there wasn't any social media for the commercial. So working on projects to get like the Facebook set up, the Instagram account set up for Graphtec, doing actually putting, I think there was a LinkedIn page when I started, but there was never anything on it.
Yeah.
So putting content out there for LinkedIn, developing the websites over the years, with the agency that we work with. I think we're on like third or fourth version of the website. We tried to like refresh it every couple of years to keep it new and updated and
Yeah,
things
because
like
that's
that.
recently been done, hasn't it? It's been a
Yeah, so the commercial website that's live at the moment, that was launched March last year, so just before Silent Digital.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's 12 months into its life cycle at the moment. But then working off the back of that with yourself for something that for our dealers, so like the portal, doing those type of projects, just making it easier for our resellers and to get the marketing material from us. Before it was very much, oh, we got these images, and then we go, yeah, here's a Dropbox file, but actually putting it into a central place where you can go, right, there's an account for the reseller,
Mhm.
everything that's in there's up to date, the price is up to date, all the images are up there for like anything that you need. We've got that infrastructure built now. So yeah, it's really the industry, I feel, not just here but like us and a few others, where we were as an industry 5 or 6 years ago to where it is now. I feel there's been quite a lot of progression
Yeah.
with especially the digital media side of things, what everyone's trying to do. Like obviously we do our podcast. The last podcast we put live was our collaboration one with our resellers Target with their podcast. So just new ways for the industry to engage with either our resellers or end users, just getting content out there to make people aware of what the machines can do and all that type of thing. So another highlight for me, I've come, like, in my past, I've come from a background where I've done like face-to-face sales and stuff.
Yeah, I suppose so. Like from your last job, you use the GraphTech machines, and then obviously you were marketing the GraphTech machines now. Is your next job going to be keeping that alive, or is it nothing to do with GraphTech?
No, I'm moving completely out of the print industry. I cut my teeth in sports e-commerce marketing, so I've had an offer, and I'm kind of going back to what I class as my roots really within
Yeah.
sports e-commerce. So, and it's not really a online job as what I'm doing now.
Mhm.
It's more it's a coordination job. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a great opportunity. But yeah, it's a little bit different to what I do now here, where I kind of like look at all the digital aspect of everything for GraphTech, like looking different avenues. Say what I'm going to do is more focused on a certain area. But yeah, the say from like when I cut the job I cut my teeth in with like sports marketing and things like that, a lot of it was expected, like face-to-face sale, like talking to people on day-to-day basis, because there was a shop there and I used to go down to the shop and help and things. So my job here, I'm pretty much in the office 24/7.
Mhm.
So getting opportunities to go to the shows and speaking to people at the shows, like Sign Digital a couple of weeks ago, whether it's a craft show at the NEC, with the ICHF events, or any of the shows that we've done, whether we've gone and done support shows with resellers and things like that. I do enjoy getting out and speaking to people, because that's where you learn about what people are actually doing with the machines. It's a lot more casual
Yeah.
conversation than sometimes, as much as you try and probe and talk to people on the phone, it's a little bit hard to kind of build that rapport with someone over a phone conversation. It's easy to do it face to face. So yeah, going out to the NEC and even other places we've gone and do shows, I really have enjoyed doing those.
Mhm. Yeah. Will you do shows in your next
I don't know,
job?
actually.
No.
Maybe I'll definitely be going to shows.
Yeah. Oh, so you'll be on the other. You
I'll
won't be
be
actually.
I'll be
Yeah.
the other side of it. I'm not. I don't know whether they'll actually do any exhibitions and things like that, like we do at GraphTech in that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll probably be on the other side of it. Me will be hounding people like you on the stand, trying to get all the information out of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no,
Oh,
it's
bro.
been great 6 years. Really enjoyed working at GraphTech. Everyone that I've worked with, it's been a pleasure really.
Yeah. Oh, so how long have you got left now? A couple of weeks.
Finish next week,
Oh my gosh.
end of next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so probably we'll get this all edited up.
Yeah.
We'll get this published before I leave. But then Nate, so this is my farewell
It's your
and
last
goodbye.
one. Yeah.
It's my
your
last podcast.
farewell.
So technically this is podcast number 19,
Yeah.
but we have done 20 because we did the introduction one, which wasn't one of the actual numbered episodes.
Yeah.
So
You couldn't have left on an odd number.
no, so here's 19 official recorded
Yeah.
ones that we've done where we've spoken about specific topics, but it is 19 and it is 20 in total.
It is 20.
Yeah.
It is 20. So for those that are listening or watching now, what are the next steps now with the podcast? The podcast will still go ahead. I would do a solo podcast, and getting, guests in, guest speakers. So yeah, it's not the last of the podcast. I'm gonna keep it alive. After all, it's been a lot of hard work and time put into it. So still be doing the podcast. It might not be as regular, but because busy.
Well, you're out on the road a lot, aren't you? So
Yeah.
if you want to be part of the podcast, now is the time to get in touch with us, either on the social media channels, drop a comment on YouTube. If you've got Ellen's email, drop Ellen an email, get in touch, and you can sort out guest episodes, can't you?
Yeah, I'm quite excited about that.
Yeah, be nice.
Yeah.
We'll be speaking.
It'd be
every
strange not
week.
having you here, but yeah, it'd be fun having lots of different people in.
Yeah, and that will give even more kind of scope to everyone listening and watching about learning about other avenues from not just our kind of take on the industry and our take on the machines, what they can do, bringing people in who are using them day to day to make money, and seeing what type of projects. So yeah, I think it'll be a nice and exciting kind of next step for the Cutting Matters podcast is doing that. So I wish everybody the best for the future. It's been a pleasure. I've really enjoyed being your podcast host for the last 10 months or whatever.
Was it August?
Or was it start of August we started these last year?
You nearly lasted a year in the podcast then.
Yeah.
Nearly.
Yeah, nearly. But no, thank you very much, and it has been a pleasure.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
No worries at all.
Thanks for tuning in on today's Cutting Masters podcast. If you are listening on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Please do get involved by liking, commenting. I'll see you all next week.